Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. It's great to have you with us here as we make our announcement for the Saints Hall of Fame class 2010. I'm Kent Trahan, General Manager of the Saints Hall of Fame. It's great to have you with us. And as always, we appreciate all of our board members, some of whom are present here today, for the work that they do in helping to make the Saints Hall of Fame what it is. We'd also like to recognize our Saints Hall of Fame Media Selection Committee. They are responsible for the consideration, nomination, and selection of each and every one of our honorees on an annual basis. Many of them are present here today. Gentlemen, you know who you are. Don't need to raise your hand, but thank you very much for the jobs that you do. And just one word, if I can digress on that briefly, these individuals not only volunteer their time, they take it very, very seriously. Some of the members of the committee are emeritus, like Bob Ressler, who's been with us from day one, Bruce Miller, Ron Swoboda, people like that, but we also have people like Pete Finney, who's been with us from day one, and Jim Henderson and Ed Daniels, guys who have been with us from the very beginning. Ro Brown, who's here today, Fletcher Mackel is part of the committee, and we are very grateful to all of the jobs that they do in this process. We had our Saints Hall of Fame 19th Annual Celebrity Golf Tournament yesterday. It was a smashing success. We'd like to extend our deepest thanks to the New Orleans Saints for their generous support. The Saints were terrific. We had 47 current and former players and coaches that participated yesterday, with all proceeds benefiting the nonprofit Saints Hall of Fame Museum, which is located at Gate B on the plaza level of the Louisiana Superdome. And of course, we have all of our events coming up in the fall. Today is actually just the announcement of who's being inducted this year. The actual induction, so that we once again clear it up for terminology, takes place during the football season. The Saints will announce that weekend coming up within the next couple of weeks. And of course, for that particular weekend, we will have our induction luncheon, followed by our All Saints Night Gala, and then of course the game itself that Sunday, where our inductee will be honored on the field. This year's class is one that we're very proud of. Each and every year, the consideration is very, very spirited. The discussion is beyond spirited, and we arrive at some people that are richly deserving. This year is certainly no exception. First of all, the Joe Gemelli Fleur-de-Lis Award is an award that we conceived and started back in 1989, which was the second year of the Saints Hall of Fame. And this is meant to commemorate those who have contributed to the betterment of the New Orleans Saints organization and profess their support of that organization over a long period of time as well. It's applicable to non-coaches, non-primary front office Saints personnel as well. So it can be somebody in the Saints organization. It can be fans. We've had many of those that have received the award, and just people who have contributed to the betterment of the New Orleans Saints. It's named after Joe Gemelli, who was widely regarded as the greatest Saints fan ever, who was responsible for creating the Touchdown Club of New Orleans, and of course anybody that was around when Joe was around understood his passion and his love of the New Orleans Saints. This year we're proud to announce that for the first time ever, we have co-winners of the Joe Gemelli Fleur-de-Lis Award. And how could you not do this in this fashion when you're talking about the two individuals that we have chosen? These two gentlemen are inseparable. Some people think they were joined at birth, but that's simply not true. And if you check out the resemblance, you probably have figured that out by now. Interestingly enough, and I think this is probably a testament to the kind of people that they are, when you come across guys that people know them better by their nicknames than they do by their real names, it probably tells you that they're pretty special. And I think when you invoke the names Chief and Silky, everybody knows exactly who you're talking about, and they know about it before you can get the last syllable out. Of course, you're only talking about 3 syllables there anyway. But just to give you a little bit of background on these two guys, these are the two longest tenured New Orleans Saints employees that are still working with the New Orleans Saints. Dan Simmons came to the Saints in 1973, served his country in marvelous fashion in Vietnam, and he's been there ever since, and it was all in the family because his dad was in that business as well back in St. Louis many years ago, so he clearly had it in his blood. Dan has been serving in the capacity as the head trainer, the head equipment manager, I should say. I'm trying to make him a trainer. It's pretty good. Equipment manager for the New Orleans Saints, and he's done a marvelous job in that capacity. And I think the fact that both of these guys have served so many regimes, so many coaches, so many general managers, so many presidents, tells you about the quality of the individual, because many people have come and gone that were outstanding people that worked for the New Orleans Saints, and they remain. Dan has continued to do that job for 38 years as we get started with the 2010 season, and no one was more richly deserving of winning a Super Bowl or getting a ring than these two gentlemen. Dan Simmons, of course, is the first. The second is Glenn and Silky Powell, who came on board with Dan a couple of years after Dan did, and is approaching 36 years of doing the job that he does, is Dan's right-hand man. Right hand, is that right? Did I get that right? Left, okay. Just making sure with the New Orleans Saints in his capacity. And again, all of us that work in the industry we work in the media industry, understand the job that these guys do. We understand the devotion that they have. And let me tell you something, you're not going to find two better people. They love their jobs, they're low-key, there's no ego. I'm quite sure that that's why they have maintained their jobs for as long a period of time as they have. I'm going to call on each one of them to come up individually to say a few words, but on behalf of the Saints Hall of Fame, I'm very proud, first of all, to bring up our first co-winner of the Joe Gemelli Florida Lee Award for 2010, Mr. Dan Simmons. Dan?
Thank you, Kenny, and I want to thank the selections committee for selecting Silky and I for this year's Joe Gemelli Award. After reviewing, though, I was looking at the list of some of the previous recipients of this award, and I noticed that most of them were either retired or expired. And I was just thankful that Silk and I weren't in that category. We were here today to accept the award. But I'd like to thank my wife, Elaine, our kids, Tracy, Tony, Amy, for all their patience, love, and just being with us, with me, through the years. And I'd like to give a special thanks to my daughter Amy for yesterday calling me and reminding me. She said, "Dad, you remember Mom's birthday is today?" And I said, "Well, I do now. Thanks for calling." Also, I'd like to say that who had ever thought 37 years ago that I'd receive a Super Bowl ring and go to into the Saints Hall of Fame in the same year. It just, who dat would have thought that? I certainly didn't. I want to thank everybody here again for making this possible. I want to say too, not only for Silk and myself, but this guy is right here is special. And I'm glad that we're able to go in with him. This is a special guy right here. Thank you.
Thank you.